What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with Tech Daily. So this is the LG G6, the latest flagship device from LG that's been out for about a month or two now, and it's a phone I'm personally a big fan of. While it'll probably be overshadowed by the Galaxy S8 in the long run, unfortunately, I still think it's a fantastic device, and in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the top reasons you should consider picking it up. The first reason I think the LG G6 is so great is its design. It has some great hardware all around, and it's a big step up from last year's disappointing G5. The front and back are covered in different variations of Gorilla Glass, and the edge of the device has the solid metal band running all the way around it. And in my opinion, that metal and glass mock-up is the perfect design for a flagship device. It's a really solid device to hold in the hand, and it of course feels very premium. The super thin bezels and compact chin and forehead make the phone really comfortable to hold as well, even being a 5.7-inch device, and I'll talk more about the screen in a bit. My only complaint, of course, with any device like this is the more glass and shiny material that are used, the more it attracts fingerprints and smudges. To combat that, if you're not a fan of cases, I recommend slapping on a slick wrap skin. This one is the Blackened Ash Natural series, and they also just launched this slate skin, which I'm a big fan of. If you're interested in checking them out, I'll leave a link in the description and a code for $5 off any order. I'm really happy LG decided to take the route they did with the G6 this year. It's a shame that last year's modular G5 never really took off, but I think it'll be a while before modularity makes sense, and for now, this, in my opinion, is one of the best flagship smartphone designs, and something that most people can appreciate. The second selling point for this phone is the screen. You get a 5.7-inch Quad HD display at an interesting 18:9, aka 2:1 aspect ratio, for a pixel count of 2280 by 1440. It is LCD instead of OLED, so it isn't going to be as vibrant as Samsung's offerings. However, it does support Dolby Vision HDR content if you're into that, and it obviously looks really great from every angle during day-to-day use. The screen on the LG G6 though is really all you see when looking at the device, and I think this is what really sets apart this phone from a lot of others. Going hand in hand with those super small bezels, the entire phone, even with a larger 5.7-inch screen, easily fits inside something like the 5.5-inch iPhone 7 Plus's footprint. You just aren't getting any distractions around the screen itself, and what little edge you do have makes the phone easy to hold and keeps the edge of your hand away from the screen to avoid any accidental touches. There's also the matter of those curves. The corners of the screen have a really unique curved design, which I have to admit looked a little weird when I first saw the leaks of the G6 a couple months back, but it's really grown on me, and at this point I think the phone looks even nicer with those rounded edges on the screen. Next we have the specs, and I think this is where some people might debate me a bit, and that's fine. The LG G6 packs a Snapdragon 821 chip instead of the newer 835 that we'll see in the rest of Android flagships this year, but I personally don't find that as a deal breaker. You still get 4GB of RAM, which is expected. Android 7.0 runs silky smooth no matter what you're doing, and the LG skin certainly isn't the worst in the world. But not seeing Android 7.1 shipped with this device was a little disappointing. On the plus side, the added screen real estate is even better for doing things like multitasking, and in my experience, the 3300 mAh battery has been good in my time with the device, and the addition of wireless charging is also a big advantage that was lacking on the G5. Another big selling point for the G6, even though it isn't exactly a feature, has to be its simplicity. Coming off the modular G5 last year, there was certainly some debate as to whether or not LG would try to keep modularity alive and push it forward, or go back to the basics, and LG definitely made the right decision here. You get nearly everything you'd expect from a flagship device at this price point without any gimmicks. Charging is USB-C, and like I mentioned, you also now get wireless charging. You get a headphone jack, even though the G6 is IP68 water resistant, since LG just doesn't seem to have the courage that Apple has to remove it. There's expandable storage up to 256GB, and you also get a fingerprint sensor around back that's actually in a pretty good place. It feels relatively natural when you hold the device, and I never feel awkward looking for it or find myself having to reach for it like I do with certain other phones. Samsung. The last reason I find myself really liking the G6 is for the cameras. While all flagship smartphone cameras nowadays are really impressive, the G6 offers something most other phones don't have. You get a good standard 13 megapixel f1.8 shooter with optical image stabilization, which will get you some great shots, but you also get a fairly unique 13 megapixel 125-degree wide-angle lens for when you need to take your pictures to the next level. The wide-angle lens is perfect for capturing big landscapes, getting a huge group of people in one shot, to get a picture of an entire room. It's super useful and really an excellent addition to the phone in general. I just wish they would have put a little more time and effort into the front-facing camera, which unfortunately just isn't really the best thing. All in all, if you couldn't already tell, I really do like the G6. I think LG did an awesome job on the device, and I hope it's a phone that a lot of people end up picking up. Yes, it will certainly be outshined by the Galaxy S8 in more ways than one. You can pick up a G6 in some cases for like $100 less than an S8, and you're still getting an awesome flagship device. Most importantly though, I think LG really redeemed themselves from the flop that was the LG G5 last year, and I'm excited to see what comes in the future from LG. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know your thoughts on the LG G6 in the comments below. Also, be sure to follow Tech Daily on Twitter, and subscribe to the Tech Daily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.